What if I told you that one man once had more financial power than the US government itself? A man whose decisions shaped industries, saved the American economy multiple times, and left behind a banking empire that still dominates the world. This is the story of John Pierpont Morgan, better known as J.P. Morgan, the King of Wall Street. Stay with me, because his journey is full of power, risk, and lessons that still matter today. J.P. Morgan was born in 1837 in Hartford. But he wasn't born poor. His father was a successful banker, but young Pierpont was often sickly. He suffered from seizures, skin conditions, and other illnesses that kept him away from normal childhood activities. But while his health was fragile, his mind was sharp. He loved numbers, problem solving, and had a natural ability to organize. His father, Junius Spencer Morgan, was already in international banking. He sent JP to Europe to study. That's where the young American learned not just banking, but the discipline and sophistication of European finance. By the time he returned to America, J.P. Morgan was ready to step into the world of business. His early 20s, Morgan joined his father's banking firm. Quickly, he gained a reputation for being decisive, fearless, and brutally efficient. Unlike many bankers who chased quick profits, Morgan valued stability and control that he believed industries should be organized, not chaotic. And he would spend his entire career imposing order on America's wild economy. By the late 1800s, America was booming. Railroads stretched across the country, new factories appeared every year, and inventions like electricity were changing the world. But with rapid growth came chaos, bankruptcies, and instability. Morgan stepped in. He reorganized failing railroads, merging them into stronger systems. He financed inventors like Thomas Edison, later merging Edison's company into what became General Electric. And in 1901, he created U.S. Steel, the world's first billion-dollar corporation, by merging Andrew Carnegie's steel company with others. This was unprecedented power. J.P. Morgan wasn't just investing in companies. He was shaping entire industries. Of Morgan's most famous moments came during the Panic of 1907. The U.S. was on the brink of financial collapse. Banks were failing. The stock market was in free fall. President Theodore Roosevelt and the U.S. Treasury turned to one man. Not the government, not Congress, but J.P. Morgan. In a dramatic move, Morgan gathered America's top bankers in his library in New York. He locked the doors and refused to let them leave until they agreed on a rescue plan. And it worked. He used his own fortune and influence to stabilize the markets, saving the U.S. economy to that moment. J.P. Morgan proved he was not just a banker. He was America's unofficial financial savior. Morgan was known for his piercing stare. People said just one look from him could silence a room. He had a huge nose, often caricatured in cartoons, but his presence was intimidating. He wasn't a man of small talk. He wanted results, solutions, and order. Yet behind the stern image, Morgan was also an art collector, amassing one of the world's greatest private collections, much of which became part of the Morgan Library in New York. Not everyone admired J.P. Morgan. Many saw him as a robber baron, a man who concentrated wealth and power, crushing competition in the process. The U.S. government eventually decided that no single man should have that much influence. This led to the creation of the Federal Reserve System in 1913, partly because of Morgan's dominance during the 1907 crisis. Ironically, J.P. Morgan died just months before the Federal Reserve was established. J.P. Morgan passed away in 1913. In Rome, Italy at the time of his death, people were shocked to learn that his personal fortune was far smaller than expected, about $80 million. For comparison, John D. Rockefeller was worth over $900 million. Why? Because Morgan wasn't in it to become the richest man. He was in it for power, influence, and control. Today, his name lives on in J.P. Morgan Chase, the largest bank in the United States and one of the most powerful financial institutions in the world. Life lessons from J.P. Morgan. Order creates strength. Morgan believed chaos destroys, but order builds empires. Reputation is power. His presence alone could settle disputes. Trust and respect are invaluable assets. Crisis reveals leadership. In times of panic, true leaders step up when others freeze. Wealth is not just money. Influence, vision, and control can be more powerful than dollars in the bank. J.P. Morgan was more than a banker. He was a kingmaker, a man who shaped America's economy at its most critical moments. Loved by some, hated by others, but undeniably one of the most influential figures in financial history. So the next time you hear the name J.P. Morgan Chase, remember, it all started with a man whose vision was bigger than money itself. If you enjoyed this story of J.P. Morgan, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And tell me in the comments, do you think J.P. Morgan was a hero who saved America, or a robber baron who had too much power?